Okay, so I want to bring in now Brett Tallman to immediately comment on my monologue and then give us his assessment. You know, Brett, we use him a lot. He's a former U.S. attorney from Utah. He comes to us from Salt Lake City. What say you?
Bill, I thought one thing that you hit on that really isn't being discussed enough, and that is we don't know. Merrick Garland didn't answer any questions. He gave a press statement with, very little information. The only new thing we learned was that he signed off on it, which was no real discovery for those of us that have been in the Department of Justice. But we know nothing about what they believe they have that supports probable cause and what was in that affidavit. And so for the media to go, one way or the other, that's all speculation. I like the fact that you're willing to say, hey, I know Donald Trump as a person. I know what he's capable of, physically and intellectually. I know what he's capable of doing, which is nothing compared to what we know about the Department of Justice and why this investigation has been launched.
Okay. Now, when you do a raid like that, it's obviously serious business, and it seems to be all one way over the recent years, that conservatives' homes are raided, but liberals' homes aren't. I think that's pretty accurate. But you mentioned something to my producer called a taint team, TAINT team. What is a taint team?
The Department of Justice, when they execute a search warrant and they anticipate that there may be privileged documents, and I can't imagine that they did not anticipate you had either executive privilege or attorney-client privilege when you're going to seize documents prior to the search warrant. You have to designate a team of lawyers and investigators from the FBI and the Department of Justice who are not part of your investigation of Donald Trump, who know nothing about it, who are separate. They will actually take into custody all evidence, all documents brought in, and they will review it for, did we gather privileged documents? If they did, then they will separate those out. They will return those documents unless they can show that there's a crime fraud exception, which there wouldn't be in this instance. So the fact that they did not do that when Donald Trump's lawyers.
How do you know the FBI didn't send in a taint team?
What we know is the lawyers for the former president had reached out to the Department of Justice and indicated that they have gathered privileged documents. The fact that the department's allegedly the department's response on that is that we don't think we did, and the Trump's lawyers requested a special master be appointed. What they're really requesting is that taint team. Is it in place? The department's response seems to justify the concern that they didn't establish that team before going in and searching the Mar-a-Lago.
How big an error would that be?
It can be a catastrophic error. This country preserves the attorney-client privilege and requires that investigators do not review attorney-client privilege. That's the essence of the privilege. But what it does is why it's called a taint team is, does it taint the other evidence based on the review of that evidence? Did they see things they're not supposed to see? Because when you review privileged information, you can reveal strategy, you can reveal, confessions and issues that are revealed to attorneys.
A bunch of stuff could be in there about
That's
not
correct.
only national security, but personal things.
Correct.
And all of that. So a judge, if the taint team was not put into place, and I can't imagine that Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, wouldn't know what you just told us, that you should have had a team go in ahead of time that was not associated with any investigation of Donald Trump and look for privileged correspondence. He would have had to know that, right?
Yeah, he would have had to know. And what they jeopardize, Bill, is the admissibility of any evidence if they brought a case.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
judge could throw the whole thing out. Illegal search.
So it makes you question if they really just didn't want the spectacle only.
But why wouldn't they do the taint team? So
it's such an easy decision.
Yeah, right? You want a clean raid, You want a clean raid, one that would hold up in court, right? That's what the Justice Department is in business to do with our tax dollars. And you make a botch like that? It's
And
stunning.
yeah, it's stunning. What I've seen some cases where, unintentionally they have gathered privileged documents, investigators have. And what happens is they throw their hands up and they say, okay, we're no longer going to review any of this. Immediately they establish a taint team and they shift it all over to that other team to review. Don't know if that's happening here. My guess is the Department of Justice is scrambling a bit and on their heels because they did not do what they were supposed to do prior to the search warrant.
All right, I'm going to tell everybody you're not going to hear that, what we just told you in the last 7 minutes.
That's correct.
You won't hear it anywhere. So that's why we have Brett Tallman. Brett, I want you to watch this every day. Let us know what you see. I want to update everybody, so you might be seeing a lot of Brett in the next few weeks, and we'll get to the bottom of this as I pledged last week.